portions of this, a recap, if you will, is going to be talking about Invincible season 5, episode 6. No, sorry, season 2, episode 5, season 2, part 2. Invincible. It's back over there on Amazon Prime, baby. Back in full effect. Just watched the premiere of the second part of the season. And man, let me tell you what. We're off to a good ass start. We're off to a really good start. I definitely dug this premiere. Now, it didn't blow me away like the previous episode did, episode 4, where Omni-Man and Mark had the battle against the Voltrumites and everything went to shit and set up a really big conflict soon to come down the line, I'm sure, before the season's through between the Voltrumites and Mark, or maybe it might be saved for a future season. I don't know. I never read the comics. And I do intend to keep it that way until I finish the series. But man, it is just super interesting to see how there's no Omni-Man in this episode. You get to explore a little bit of Adam Eve and whatnot and her relationship with Rex or whatever the fuck his name is. But they don't necessarily dive into as much Omni-Man stuff as I was kind of expecting. So that was a little bit surprising to me in a general sense. But I was like, hey, whatever, we'll survive. But overall, I would say it's a really, really good premiere. I wouldn't say it's something that necessarily blew me away, but I really dug the premiere episode. I thought there was some interesting stuff going on with Mark bringing his half brother, I guess you would say, down to Earth and having his mom have to take care of some alien love child from somebody else. You know what I mean? It was just so much weird, nuance, fucked up stuff going on there that you could definitely get into some deeper discussions about or whatever, I guess. But it was just crazy, man. And just seeing all the tough stuff that his mom, Deborah, has to go through and all that. And then him getting called into space again when he's barely got back home and trying to catch up on everything he missed in school and with his girl and letting people know and updates on what's going on with his dad and everything going on there. And he just can't catch a break, man. Like freaking Walton Goggins' character is always like, hey, I need to send you out to space again. It's like, bro, I just got home, man. I just took my shoes off. Like, leave me the fuck alone right now, man. Like, it's just like, and I totally get where he's coming from, because it's like you just don't want to get bothered at the moment, you know what I mean? And it sucks, So that was the one thing where I was like, man, I feel for my boy Mark right now for sure, and hopefully he'll finally get a chance to catch a breath, and everything like that. And it was cool to catch up with Paul the alien and see what's going on with him and see how that whole thing was a subversion, because the guy that was pretending to be evil isn't actually evil, or we had assumed to be evil. He's actually the one Voltrumite that went against the Empire and rebelled and is trying to do good and kind of assemble him and get Paul the alien souped up to Super Saiyan so he can go get Mark and get him trained up so they could team up together to take out the Voltrumites, hopefully with Omni-Man's help as well, and take them down once and for all and end this whole tirade that these guys are doing across the galaxy, Saiyan style and everything like that. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see where the rest of the season goes. We haven't caught up with Angstrom Levy yet. There's a lot of dangling plot threads that we haven't really necessarily caught up with quite yet. So it'll be really interesting to see where they take things in the future with this one. But yeah, man, I really, really dug this premiere episode for sure. But let me know, man. I want to know what you guys thought about this one. It wasn't necessarily one of my favorite episodes. I thought it was just pretty good. But hopefully they'll start to kind of pick up steam a little bit in the rest of the season. And as things progress, it'll start to get even more intense as we continue going on with this thing, man. But I really, really dug it. I thought it was good. Not great, but I thought it was good. And it's a good continuation of this season. But y'all let me know what you thought about this latest episode of Invincible down below in the comments. I would love to hear y'all's thoughts on that. But that's pretty much it for Invincible. Wasn't too many big spoilers to get into, but just didn't want to ruin nothing for y'all.